This week, we chased dolphins, hiked epic gorges, stumbled upon an emu in the street, and even met a space cat. From the remote red cliffs of Kalbarri to the wild pink lakes of WA. Come with us as we travel thousands of kilometers down Australia's west coast before the rain finally catches us. Welcome back to Moonstone Chariot. If you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Brandy, and with my partner Ben, we have been traveling the lap of Australia for the past 3.5 months in our van Mika, trying to document as much of the adventure as possible. And this last week has definitely been jam-packed with adventure. So let's get into this week's vlog, starting off on Sunday in Exmouth. Sunday was the second day of my freediving course and our first day out in open water. I will not lie, I was so incredibly nervous, but the Salty Hearts team were so patient and nurturing with me, and I really can't say how much I appreciated that. Monday was the last day of my freediving course, and basically the second that I was done with that, we were back on the road and leaving Exmouth. We were both pretty sad to say goodbye to Exmouth, but we did stop in at Bills Bay to spend a little time on the paddleboard to close out the afternoon. Tuesday, we landed in Carnarvon, taking advantage of our first woolies that we had seen in over 2 weeks, and spending some time exploring the Carnarvon Space and Technology Museum. Which was super cool for like 4 different reasons. One, and possibly most importantly, they have an in-house cat named Buzz, and we absolutely loved him. 2, this place actually played a role in helping get Apollo to the moon, so it reminded us a lot of the Kennedy Space Center, which we also love back in Florida. Number 3, we absolutely loved how interactive this museum was. From the little video games, to science experiments, to getting to take your picture on the moon, it was pretty epic. And number 4, although this happened as we were leaving the Space Museum, we saw our very first blue-tongued shingle-backed lizard on our way out of the car park. And he was so freaking cute. From Carnarvon, we headed straight to Monkey Maya and made it just in time to catch a sunset, and we even spotted some dolphins. On Wednesday, still in Monkey Maya, we woke up bright and early to do the dolphin experience with the rangers. The experience itself is very cool and very informative about dolphins and dolphins in that area of Monkey Maya. And they do this experience 3 times during the morning, so I was actually able to video call my mom for the first demonstration, and it was just really cool to allow her to see what we were experiencing with us at the time. From there, we checked out a little bit more of Shark Bay, the lagoons, and even checked out the famous Shell Beach. This whole area was just absolutely gorgeous. We highly recommend checking out Shark Bay. If we had known how gorgeous it was all going to be, we probably would have spent a little bit more time in the Shark Bay and Monkey Maya area. Thursday morning, we made it to Kalbarri National Park, which is another park that a lot of people recommended to us or said that they thought we were going to love. It was quite cold first thing in the morning, but we were still able to knock out 2 hikes and check out the famous Nature's Window. We, of course, also stopped in at the visitor center to check out the Kalbarri Skywalk, which was honestly a really cool experience, although at the time that we visited, the wind was quite insane. And then we did our favorite Kalbarri hike, which was the Zeben Trail, which really honestly reminded us a lot of Karajini. As you may have heard us say before, we have no idea how we get done with some of these hikes so quickly or get done with some of these activities as quickly as we do. So we got done with all of our activities that we had scheduled for the day pretty fast and decided to carry on and keep going towards the coastal town of Kalbarri, and we were completely blown away. We saw an emu on the way into town and actually saw a bunch of emus on the way out of town later that evening. But when it comes to Kalbarri, the town, we had no clue how cute it was or how many amazing beaches it had to offer. We spent the rest of the afternoon checking out beaches like Chinaman's Beach, Jacques Point, Red Bluff Beach, Red Bluff Lookout, Pot Alley, Eagle Gorge, and of course my favorite was Red Bluff Lookout. This is when we noticed that you could occasionally see what we are assuming is humpback whales migrating and coming up and out of the water. It was honestly my favorite thing ever, and I kept my eyes glued to the horizon the entire time we were out there. We ended the day with a gorgeous sunset atop one of these coastal cliffs that we were camping on with these cute little alpacas. Friday was our last day in Kalbarri, and we still had quite a few places to check off our list. We actually started our morning off heading back to 2 of the locations we had checked out the night before, Pot Alley and Eagle Gorge, so that we could hike down to the little private beaches that had been carved out of the coastline. And as we continued to head south, we also checked out Kalbarri Castle Cove and all of the rock formations that you can find there, like the Natural Bridge and Island Rock Lookout. I honestly could have spent all day here checking out these coastal cliffs and rock formations and keeping an eye out for whales whenever I got the chance. This area honestly really reminded me of the Great Ocean Road in Victoria. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but we really love the ocean around here. Once we said our goodbyes to Kalbarri, we began to head south, stopping in at the famous pink Huts Lagoon. And we're really surprised by how pink it actually looked. We flew our drone here and we discovered that the quote-unquote trick to seeing the pigment is the angle at which you're viewing the water. It honestly looked way more pink in the drone than it did to our eyes. We stopped in and had a delicious meal in Geraldton and checked out their lighthouse before continuing to head south to the Pinnacles in Nambung. We got the opportunity to walk amongst the Pinnacles and do the Pinnacles Trail on foot, which was really, really cool. We had planned to stay here to check out the stars, as that is a thing that people talk about doing at the Pinnacles Desert, but unfortunately the first signs of rain that we've experienced since Uluru were creeping towards us, so we decided to call it a night and begin to head to camp. But on the way, we got to see this really cute brown furry kangaroo. He looked so soft and so adorable. Saturday, the dark and gloomy had officially caught up with us. So we decided to check out Lake Theotis and the stromolites there, and continue driving south towards Perth, finding this really cool free campsite along the river about 2 hours outside of Perth. Here we basically chilled as the rain came down all day long. And that's our weekly vlog. We have officially made it to the Perth region, the Perth area. We are really excited to see what's in store for us here in this area. We do plan to kind of stop here and be here for about 2 months, hopefully finding some quote-unquote real work while we're here. Otherwise, we are going to go full-fledged into content, revamping and remodeling and upgrading our blog and our website, and just trying to keep up to date with all of our socials in general. Definitely comment down below which platforms you would like to see more of us on. And if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you're not already. It truly, truly helps us out more than you'll ever know. Thank you guys so incredibly much for watching. We hope you have a great day, a great week, and we will see you soon. Bye!